Hello Webflowers, in this video we will learn how to create this simple preloader using GSAP and Webflow. So let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is to install GSAP on our website, and you can get the current CDN link by going on their installation page. So let's just copy paste the tag here and then go into the global footer code. By the way, I'm using the FinSpeed extension here. You might not have it if you are not using it. And yeah, we just simply copy paste it right here. So let's save. Good. Now we have GSAP on our website. Now it's time to build the actual preloader. So let's do that. Let's add a div block. Let's give it a class of preloader. We will set the position to be fixed, cover the entire page, give it a really high Z index, and then width of 100% and height of 100 VH. Now this just basically makes sure that it's on top of everything and that it's covering the entire website. So let's go ahead and add a preloader background inside. Preloader BG, and then we will give it position absolute, cover the entire parent, and then give it a background color of white, and most importantly we need to give it a flex center, because here we will add the last thing, which will be our Lottie file. Now I found this Lottie animation on another website, but you can obviously use whatever you want. Now before we actually do any coding, we just need to apply some default styling here. For example, we want this to loop indefinitely, and then we can also give it a custom class of preloader Lottie. So that is it regarding the actual setup of the preloader. If we go to preview, you can see that our Lottie is working. So now it's time to actually write the code. So first of all, let's open the script text. And now we have to start with some basics. So what I always like to do is make sure that our elements are stored in variables. It's so much easier for me to work that way. So let's store our preloader in a variable. And then let's do a document query selector, and now we will target our preloader class. Perfect. And now we will also store the Lottie in a variable. So let's do document query selector. Now this is so much easier if you're doing this in a Visual Studio or Slater, but not a lot of people know about that, especially if you are not accustomed to using custom code. But yeah, so here we will target our Lottie, which is this one. And great, now we have two variables. Now we can actually start with our animation. So the first thing that we need to do is write our timeline code, and we'll do const tl, and now GSAP timeline. Perfect. And now we are ready to actually build the timeline animation. So we'll do TL, so we are targeting this timeline here. And now we will do from Lottie, which is this one. And then we will set some animation here. So the first thing that we want to do is auto alpha 0, and then scale 0.5. And don't forget to set the duration and easing as well. So we'll set duration to 1 second and easing to power 1 in out. Perfect. So let me just explain what this does. So from basically animates the Lottie from our set animation here. So in a preloader, it will animate the Lottie from auto alpha, which is visibility and opacity. So from opacity 0 and from scale 0.5 to its original state. And now after that, we also need to set actually hide the preloader, which is the entire container. So let's target our preloader and then set the to be auto alpha 0. And then once again, we set the duration to 1 and is to power 1 in out. Now there is an interesting tip if you want to make your life a little bit easier. So if you know that for the most part you are going to use the same duration and same easing, you can actually set it within this GSAP timeline as a default. So let's do that. So we can do defaults and then open curly brackets here and then just copy paste this here. So now this will basically apply to the entire timeline and we can delete them from here and from here. Perfect. And one last thing that we want to do is set a slight delay to this preloader, and we can do it by setting a comma here, quotes, and then do this. Now what this does is basically runs the preloader animation 1 second after this is done. Otherwise it would just happen too quickly and we wouldn't see what's really happening. So yeah, I think this should be okay. Let me just save. And then I guess we can publish and test this out. And as you can see, it works perfectly. Now if we reload once again, you can see that it scales to its current place and then smoothly fades out. But you may be thinking, what's with the preloader? How can I hide it here? Now if we set this to display none, we will have a flash of unstyled content. So if we publish here, actually it won't work at all because our current animation basically animates it to opacity 0. So it's not ideal. So let's just reset this. But there is one piece of code that will really save your life here. I will just copy paste it here from my second monitor. And then I will just go ahead into this global style. Or you can just drag an embed here. Let's do that as well. Especially if you are not working with global components. So we open the style tags because this is a CSS code. And here we copy paste this. So what this code does is it first targets the design editor and then the actual editor. And then it targets our preloader class and hides it. So if we save and close, you can see that it's no longer here. You can basically work with your project as you would without it. But if we publish and go to our published website, you can see that it will work perfectly. So there you go. That is how you create a simple preloader using GSAP. I will leave the code down in the description so you can work with it, you can be creative, you can do whatever you want with it. And yeah, don't forget to leave a like. And of course, we are trying to get to 100 subscribers this year. I'm hoping we can do it. I believe in you, and yeah, have a nice day and I will see you in the next video.